Hey y'all, hey, hopping back on here with another video. Y'all, so this is something I was debating on sharing, and I will share this one. A lot of other things I have kept to myself, and I probably will keep to myself. I will probably share with my husband years and years and years down the line. But this one I don't mind sharing. So, I think about 2 weeks ago, I went to Walmart and I was pulling into the parking lot. And that day, I don't know, I just wasn't like feeling it. And it wasn't like it was anything bad, right? I just wasn't in the mood to be like talkative or to engage with people. I just wanted to go into Walmart, get what I needed, and come out. So as I was pulling into the parking lot, y'all, I saw this lady who presumed to be homeless. And I saw her pacing back and forth by the basket cart, you know, when you go put the baskets back when you finish with it or whatever, or you're supposed to. Anyways, some people do, some people don't. But anywho, so I saw her pacing back and forth and I was like, the parking lot was extremely, extremely packed. And I was like, oh, I'm at the park over here by her. I was just like, I don't carry cash on me just as a woman, a black woman anyways. I just don't carry cash on me. And so I was like, well, I don't have any cash. I know that. And I was just like, I just really want to go in the store. I don't want to engage with anyone. And so when I got out the car, I ended up parking close by where she was. And I just went into the store. She didn't say anything to me then. I was just like, okay, I guess she didn't want anything. Maybe she's just getting some air. And so I went into Walmart, got what I needed, came back out. As I got back to my car, she then said, hey, she was telling me that she wasn't homeless. She's like, oh, I'm not homeless or anything. But I just want some food for me and my daughters. Mind you, I don't see any daughters around. I'm just saying, I didn't see any daughters around. But that's what she said. She had her and her daughters. She's like, I get paid. I just get paid late. And we're hungry now. And she was like, do you have any change? I said, well, ma'am, I don't have any change. I do not carry cash on me. However, if you and your daughters need food, one thing I can do for you is go to Chick-fil-A. And I can bring you back some food. Is that okay with you? And she was like, yes, whatever you bring back is okay. Just please make sure you don't have anything with mustard. We are allergic to mustard. And again, I'm looking like, who is we? Because I don't see the girls. And so I said, okay. I said, no mustard. I got it. I said, but do you want ketchup and barbecue sauce? She was like, yeah, that's fine. So I said, okay. And she's like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I said, no problem. So I go to Chick-fil-A, you guys, which is literally in the same proximity, the same parking lot, just on the other side of Walmart. So I go to Chick-fil-A, go through the drive-thru, buy two big meals. It's like I got two 12-count chicken nuggets, and that way they could all like split it however they wanted to. And I got drinks and everything for them. So I go back to Walmart, you guys, in the parking lot. Now, keep in mind, I was never going to get out of my car. I was always going to just roll down my window, make sure my doors were locked first, roll down my window, and hand her the food. So I go back to the parking lot, and I don't see the woman. I'm like, what in the world? Like, what in the Where's this lady? And the crazy part is I saw security ride right by her. And I was like, oh, okay, good. They got security moving and circulating. Perfect. They literally drove by this woman. I'm watching them as I'm pulling off going to Chick-fil-A, which, again, mind you, Chick-fil-A is literally right across. And I'm watching them drive by her. And so when I come back into the parking lot after I got the Chick-fil-A, I asked security. I went to security. And I'm like, hey, did y'all see a lady that was standing right here by this baskets thing, like pacing back and forth? There's like a lady. I'm like, yeah. I was like, y'all drove right by her. Y'all didn't tell her to get in her car and to not like panhandle or anything like that. And they were like, no, it's no lady, because it was one security guard and then his partner. or whatever. They were both security, like working security, but they were driving or riding in the same truck with each other, the same security truck. And it was like, no, it ain't been no lady right there. I'm like, bro, I'm telling y'all, it was a lady right. And I didn't get an attitude with them, but I'm just saying, like, in my head, I'm like, what the heck you mean there ain't no lady right there? But I'm telling them, like, no, yes, there was a lady. I'm telling them, this is exactly how I'm talking to them. I'm like, yes, there was a lady right here by the baskets, bro. I said she had on white, and she had on like a white hoodie. And I was like, she was standing right here by the baskets. Yo, I had a whole conversation with this lady. I went and brought Chick-fil-A for this lady. 2 meals, you guys. I held up the drinks and everything, and the meals and everything to them. And I was like, I just spent $24. Somebody better get this food. And I was like, yo, y'all sure it's not no lady? It was I'm steady going back and forth with them. Like, it was a lady right there. So I said, can y'all please circulate? Can y'all go check by the trash cans and stuff? And so at this point, I'm kind of following behind them. So I'm looking at the trash cans. We drive around that whole thing. That lady was not to be found. And then there's like a Metro bus waiting station right there on the entrance as you get ready to enter into this particular Walmart. There's a Metro stop right there. And so typically the homeless people, they post up at that Metro stop. So I even drove right there. She was not there. Actually, nobody was there, surprisingly. Nobody was there because it's usually always a male, homeless male, unfortunately, that sits right there. But nobody was there that day. When I went today, it was a homeless guy there. But she was nowhere to be found. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, do y'all want the meals or whatever? Then his partner was like, man, I didn't already had Chick-fil-A today. I'm Chick-fil-A'd out, but I appreciate the gesture. And then the other man was like, no, I'm good, blah, blah. No, okay, I can understand that. Y'all, that lady was nowhere to be found. And I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was a test from God, but I was just like, I'm going to share this because that's something that just freaked me out. It's like I didn't feel like spending the money. I didn't really want to be bothered, but I don't know. I kind of felt like I was being tested in that moment. And however, that still bothers me. Even when I went to Walmart today, I was like, I'm going to find this lady. I'm going to find this lady. And I hope I see her as I'm driving because I know I talked to this lady. Like, I know I talked to that lady. And, you know, I called and told my parents, I'm like, I didn't spend $24. And here they go. You got to be careful. Stop acting like you ain't contributing enough to this world. You're doing more than enough. You dealing with those kids all day. You helping them. You inspiring them. You blah, 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 blase, blase. And I'm like, Lord, I shouldn't have told them because here they go. They don't understand certain things the way that I feel like I understand them when it comes to spirituality and really having a divine connection with Christ. I always say they have their own relationship with Christ. I have my own relationship with Christ. We are on different plateaus, and it's not saying that my parents don't have this certain, but they're just not off into certain things like I am. And by certain things, I mean like people who can possibly be sent in angelic form, and you don't know how they look. You don't know how God is testing you. And they kind of don't really, like my mama, she believes in it to an extent. She believes in angels and stuff like that, of course. But my daddy, he just don't believe in like certain things can be real or happen or possible. But me, I do. And my mom, she does too. But certain things, they put my safety and concern before anything else that I'm saying. And I can understand that. I totally agree with that. I'm not knocking them. I appreciate them for caring about my safety. But it's just like everything is not always about that. And I wasn't going to put myself in danger. Like, I felt comfortable coming back to drop her off the food in my car because I saw security circulating around. Like, I'm not going to be stupid about it. I'm not going to get out of my car and go walk to her car and be like, hey, here's this. No, I'm going to protect myself. But they just were so on me about and I was just like, okay, yeah, I shouldn't have told you, which is why I keep mostly everything to myself and I don't even bring it to YouTube either. I just keep it to myself and I talk to God about it. But this one thing I thought that I'd share because I was just like, that freaked me out, you guys. And I'm still freaked out about it, which is why I'm talking about it 2 weeks later. Because I'm just like, this lady was right here. I cannot have been the only one to see her. I literally had a whole conversation with this lady. You think I would be crazy enough to go buy food and spend $25, $24 and some change, round it up $25 on just an imaginary person? So that just freaked me out. But anyways, I just thought I'd come on here to share that. But anyways, I just thought I'd come on here and share that. Has anyone else ever experienced that before? Like 1 minute you're talking to somebody and then the next minute other people are telling you there was never anybody there? This is the first time this has ever happened to me. The first time. It's been crazy. And you know what's so crazy? Even crazier is that ever since that encounter, certain things has just been taking place. And it's just been the most interesting thing. Like I felt God the most. Like I felt his peace the most how I used to. I feel his presence. I feel his warmth. I just feel like, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody's not going to understand things the way that you understand them because their relationship is not the same relationship that you have with Christ. And it's like, I feel him more than ever. I'm not making this stuff up. It's so crazy. I can't even explain it since that encounter with that lady, the things that have been transpiring. It's so crazy. Like even like just walking outside, people are speaking to me more. People are just like staring in my face more. Like there's something about me that I don't know about myself that they do. And I'm just like, this is interesting. Like people have stared at me before, of all ethnicities, men and women. I never really, I'm like, oh, okay. But this has been a kind of different stare. I can't really explain it. And I rebuke, like, Lord, I'm not ready now. I hope it ain't that kind of glow or whatever. I'm not ready to go yet. I got too much stuff to do. I want to accomplish many more things before you call me home. We've already talked about this, but it's just been like the strangest thing, but in a good way, in a positive way since that encounter. And it's just been very, very interesting and unique to experience. Even today, you guys, I kid you not, today, this Saturday, bruh, y'all, I don't know what happened today. Early this morning, I went to go walk my dog. Every time I walk my dog, y'all know I wear my little fanny pack now because my parents got on me about that. Oh my gosh. They got on me about that. You need to have your phone. You need to have this. So I wear the little fanny pack that one of my students bought me, and I keep all of my stuff in there as I'm walking the dog. So usually I take my key, only 2 particular keys off my entire keychain because I'm not putting that big old, I have like 1 million keys on my keychain. I'm not putting that big old heavy thing in my fanny pack while I'm trying to walk in. So you know, those little clips that you can clip the keys on and stuff. I have a ton of those on my key ring. So I always unclip the same one every morning while I go walk him, and I put that one in my fanny pack. So today I get ready to go lock the door. Those particular keys on that clip, those are my keys to lock the door, to lock the screen door anyway. So I have 2 different keys, one to lock the screen door and one to lock the main door behind the screen door. And so I go look for that key to lock my screen door. It's nowhere to be found. It's nowhere to be found. Mind you, my screen door key is on there, and y'all know my gate, I have to do it manually. So I have an actual lock, like those locks you use for a locker in high school. I have an actual lock that I have to unlock and lock back every single day. That key was also on there. So I had those 2 keys on there. So now I'm like, how am I going to get to this event? The one that I was just telling y'all about. How am I going to get to this church event if I can't get out of my gate? So I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, well, Lord, you know, because I'm still trying to find a way out from that church, right? I'm just like, I'm still, again, that fear. I'm like, maybe I'm not supposed to be here, baby. I still struggle with like imposter syndrome, and maybe other people can't tell, but I feel it inside. Like, I feel like I'm an imposter. Like, I'm not supposed to be there. Like, this church is too cool or something like I don't know. And it's just like fear of being seen, of being exposed to opening up and being vulnerable and really being my true, full, authentic self with people, because I've had such unpleasant experiences with people, with girls in particular. So I still have that fear of being able to be my full self and not having to worry about what people are saying when I walk out of the building and stuff like that about me in particular. So I'm still struggling with that. So in the process of me struggling with that, I'm like, Lord, well, if you don't want me to be here, like I always tell him, Lord, if you don't want me to be here, Like I always tell him, Lord, if you don't want me to be here, give me a sign now, tell me now. And every time I say that, it's like something comes up in the service on Sunday where he's like telling me, girl, this is where you're supposed to be. This is where you belong. And I'm like, no, give me an out. Like I'm still trying to make sure that this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm still trying to get confirmation. Even though I've joined and everything, I still be wanting an easy out sometimes. And so this morning, I was like, okay, Lord, well, I guess that's your sign. I guess that's your sign that you don't want me to go to this event. Maybe I'm not supposed to be at this church, right? Blase, blase. But the whole time, even though I'm thinking like this, my heart is really shattered because I really wanted to see what it was about. Because when I first joined the church, like the ladies who went to the back with me to get me registered and everything as a new member, they were like, oh, you love being part of Women of Praise and you'll really enjoy that. We meet every third Sunday, so it's not going to take up your weekends and blah, blah, blah. And it's really good. It's really informational, informative and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. So now that the opportunity has presented itself after I've been there for so long, because I've been there since, I think since October I've been there. And I joined at the end of November maybe. Or December. No, I joined in December because it was right. I joined New Year's Eve. I joined New Year's Eve. And so, yeah. So I had been there all that time. And yeah, so they were just like, oh, that'll be something cool that you'll enjoy. So today finally presented itself. And I was like, oh, I really wanted to go though, just to see like what they were talking about and what it was going to be about. And so the Lord knows our what? Our heart. So even though I'm steady asking him, Lord, or telling him, rather at this point, okay, that's your sign. I finally got it. I'm not supposed to go, blah, blah, blah. So y'all, I never found my keys. However, something in me said, Jazz, get all your keys, because I keep my keys in a certain place. Get all your keys from here. Take them from there and go try to unlock that lock. I kid y'all not, something told me go try to unlock that lock so I can pull my car out of my driveway. And so I went to the gate and I tried the first key. The first key didn't work. And I'm like, okay, Lord, first key ain't working. I guess I'm going to stay in. I'm going to be sad about it. I'm going to be real down, but I guess I'm going to stay in. The Lord said, try another key. Y'all, I tried the second key. Why that key worked and unlocked my lock to my gate. I'm telling y'all, since that encounter, certain things have just been trippy, crazy. Do you hear me? And it's little things. It's little things. Like God is like, I'm going to start here first with the little things. And then I'm going to build her up to the bigger things. But I'm just like, that is crazy. That is crazy. Can you imagine, like, y'all, I have not found those keys and it has been driving me bananas because I still want to find my original keys, because at this point I'm still a little nervous because I'm like, who have them? Like, who has my keys? Did they fall outside on the ground and I didn't even know, and somebody came into my gate and picked them up? Like, I do not know. At this point I really want to change all my locks, and I think that's the next thing I'm gonna ask my dad to do is can he change my locks and I can just get another key, because I don't like, this is not okay. I'm not settled with this. However, it's the mere fact that the Lord was like, just grab all your keys and go try each and every last one of them until you get the one that works for that lock. Like, he knew it was a key on there. And I've never, ever in my life, I've been having these keys for years, y'all, never considered the key that worked to be able to be the one to fit that lock. Because I'm so accustomed to my two little keys that I know for sure fit those locks. And so again, I tried that first one, didn't work. I tried that second one, that lock plopped right open. I said, yeah. I just started laughing, literally just like this. I did just like this. I said, you are something else. You are something else. He knew I really wanted to go to that event. He knew I did. Even though I was still telling him, well, okay, I guess trying to play it cool or whatever, I really wanted to go to that event. And God made a way. I was like, I know you lying. And the crazy part is, I have a master lock, right? the key that I used to unlock that master lock was not a key that said master. It didn't match the lock at all, but it worked for the lock. Is that not crazy? Is that not crazy? You know how the keys usually have to match? If it's a master lock, you have to have a master key. Just like if you go to a storage, whatever kind of lock they have on that storage, the key has to match, right? These are two separate keys, two different brands. These are two different brands, you guys. The lock was master, the key was a different brand. The lock was master, the key is a different brand. And it worked for that master lock. And I was able to pull out my car and go to that event. I was a little bit behind, and I was so distraught about not finding my keys, even though I was able to maneuver and finally move my car and stuff and go to the event. I was so distraught, y'all. I left my whole purse home. I had to, that's how I ended up being late. I was 5 minutes late, but they hadn't even started yet. So I was so very grateful. People were still getting their breakfast and sitting down and talking and stuff with each other when I got there. So I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I made it just in time, in the nick of time. But I had to come back. I had got all the way up the street, y'all, and I was like, something is missing. My whole freaking purse, I had left it behind because I was just so discombobulated at that point. And then especially when that key locked, now my mind is racing like, oh my God, I can go to the event, like, Lord, what? And so I made it to the event. So little things have just been happening for me, and I'm just like, this is bananas. But I still need to find that key. I know I had the key because how else would I have gotten in my house yesterday? I literally had to unlock the screen door with those two keys on there for me to get to the second door that I needed to unlock. So they were in my possession, but I don't know if it's a possibility, like I said, that I could have dropped it and not realized it. But I can hear my keys drop. The chain thing that they were connected to, like, it's loud. It would be loud if I dropped it on my ground. But, honey, I searched high and low outside in the grass. I went over it 3 times because when my daddy came, I walked it again outside of my yard. The keys are nowhere to be found. I'll check my car, keys are nowhere to be found. They couldn't have been in my car anyways, like I said, because if I'm out the car, unlocking the door, how are my keys in the car? So I cannot find those keys. I've been praying to the Lord all day to have those keys appear, and I just cannot find them. I've backtracked all of my steps, y'all. I've looked in the closet. I've looked in all of my jackets, the pockets. I cannot find those keys. But guess what? I can get in and out of my house. And I did make it to the event today. I'm like, wow. God is so real. God is so good. Even when we're not feeling it, even if we're not feeling ourselves and just feel defeated, God knew I needed to be in the church house today. And I'm still coming down from my feelings and my emotions and my mental state, but I'm getting there. My errands help me a little bit. Like, I love to be outdoors and just moving, and I parked my car by my nail shop because I had to go back to my nail shop so they can fix my feet. And I parked my car there just so I can make sure to get some exercise and some steps in. So I just walked. I just parked my car in one area and walked the whole little strip mall and walked all the way back to my car. And yeah, that kind of helped me clear my mind. You know, walking, wind, being by water, that helps me a lot. So that's what I did today. So I'm a little bit better. I'm a lot better, much better than I was yesterday and earlier this morning. So that's a plus. But yeah, so I will talk to y'all later. I just wanted to share that. Has anybody else had an encounter before like that, and then had little things to start happening for them afterwards? I'm just curious. Please let me know. But okay, y'all, talk to y'all later. Please pray that I find those keys, because I'm still a little sad about that, but I hope I find them. But all right, y'all, Talk to y'all later. I'm so tired. For those who are all into, stop saying you're tired, you just have no energy. I have zero energy at this current time. I'm gonna try to go to bed. I may wake up extremely early to try to get at least 3 grades in. That way later on tomorrow evening I can just put 3 more in and then I'll be done. Because right now, yeah, I'm ready to get some. I'm just still a little drained. But all right. My mom has called me again. We've been playing phone tag. I called her. She told me she's going to call me back. Now she called me back, but I'm in the middle of recording. So let me get off this phone and try to call her back again and see what's going on. But okay, y'all. Bye. Talk to y'all later. Peace.